I was forced to change all of my settings in Modern Warfare 3. I had to reinstall the entire game, which means I lost all my settings. Everything was gone, but it was probably the best thing that happened because for some reason, right now, these new settings that I have set up play so much better than I've ever had before. And we're gonna get into it, man. My controller just feels insanely good. I'm just using a basic controller, guys. No back paddles, nothing like that. So if you guys are using any sort of basic controller too, trust me, these settings work for anyone. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. We're gonna talk about visual settings, controller settings, audio settings, literally everything that came out in Season 4 right now. Let's go. What is up, guys? My name is Nick and welcome back to another Modern Warfare 3 video, the first or second I should say video of Season 4 that I'm uploading, but it is the first day that Season 4 is out. We're going to get into a bunch of settings and we're going to go into graphics right away. I wanted to kind of talk about this because there's a lot of stuff that you could do and that you can't do that just make your game look a lot better, and we're going to go into it really fast. The graphics, we're just going to talk about one or two things here, but it's stuff that are going to help you guys out a lot. So before we get into it, if you guys could drop a like, I would truly appreciate that. Let me know down in the comments below if you liked Season 4 so far, man. Season 4 dropped on the same day as my birthday, so that's awesome. That feels great. And again, guys, let's just get into it. So the first thing you want to do is go over to your display settings. In your display settings, you're going to go to brightness and you're going to make sure this is set properly. All right, where it says not visible, you want to make sure the Call of Duty logo is actually not visible. Where it says barely visible, you want to make sure it's barely visible. All right, this is going to be different for every single monitor that you guys are playing on, every single TV and all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you set this that looks something like you see on screen right now, and that's going to make the game the best. The corners are not going to be too dark, so if there's enemies camping in the corners, you will easily be able to see them. And then there's areas that are too bright where the sun just blocks you out and stuff like that. It won't be the case with this right here. So yeah, go definitely do that. And pretty much that is it for that right there. And I'm gonna say also, you're going to want to go over to the quality tab, and in the quality tab, or sorry, the view tab, and in the view tab, because I'm not sure if you get quality on console or not, in the view tab, you're going to go to world motion blur, you're going to turn it off, weapon motion blur, you're going to turn it off, film grain, you're going to set to 0, guys, trust me on that. And then for the first and third person camera movement, you're going to put it to the least, which is 50%. I wish it was 0, but trust me, this is just going to be so much easier. When you get into gunfights, you're going to see the enemies easier, it's going to be nicer to track on them. Your movement here, the camera movement, it's just awful if you have this set to 100. All right, it just shakes too much. There's way too much movement going on. Put it all down. All right, weapon motion blur, put it to 0 as well. Who wants a blurry weapon when they're trying to stay on target? Trust me, guys, turn those off for sure. Now there's another thing that we got to get into, and that is the interface. And then after this, we're going to go into the controller settings, but the interface is something that a lot of people don't realize is pretty important. Okay, so we're going to go down to the minimap shape. You're going to set that to square instead of round. This just means that you see more of the minimap, which is good. More of the minimap means more intel, means more chances to see enemies and all that kind of stuff. You're going to put rotation on for sure, and then you're going to turn off the compass unless you like it. Personally, I think it's just a waste of screen space. I turn it off. I don't like it whatsoever. In the crosshairs, you're going to want to have this on, all right? You're going to definitely turn this on, and then you're going to have your center dot on as well. I think it was off by default for some reason, so make sure you turn this on. This is going to help you guys out so much in gunfights. And put this scale to the largest, all right? So your dot is going to be really large in the center of your screen, not super large, it's not going to block out stuff or anything, but this is really good so that when you actually are just running around that map, the dot's going to appear, and wherever that dot is, as long as you're aiming that dot at an enemy, the second you aimed on sights, you will be on that enemy. So definitely go ahead and set that on. Trust me, guys, you're going to want to have that dot on. There's some people who play without it. I mean, if you like it without it, definitely go, but personally, I love the dot, and since they brought it into Call of Duty, I've really liked that they brought it into Call of Duty. Now let's get into controller settings, all right? So controller settings, we're gonna, well, at least what I do is I have it on flipped, okay? Now, when I play on flipped, I like to shoot with L1 and R1. So I ADS with L1, I shoot with R1. I'm playing on a basic PlayStation 5 controller. If you guys are more comfortable shooting with the other buttons, the lower buttons, definitely go ahead and do it. But if you do that, turn off haptics feedback, all right? Don't let those controllers, don't let those buttons have like, I don't know, it's just, they're hard to press at some point. I don't like it, and it feels like you're losing gunfights because of that. So this is why I put L1 and R1. It just makes you guys shoot milliseconds faster. But like I always say, man, in a game where it takes milliseconds to kill someone, you want those millisecond advantages. So L1 and R1 is going to do really good. Or if you have trigger stoppers, L2, R2 will do fine for you. But personally, I just like L1, R1. I don't like modifying my controller. The only modification I put on my controller is a control freak, and that's just something that you add to your thumbstick. That's all it is. I mean, you guys can buy it as well. They're relatively cheap, and they help your accuracy like crazy. You could even use code IT'sNick and save yourself 10 to 15%, depending on when you go ahead and get it. But yeah, let's get into more settings here. So stick layout, obviously we're going to set it to default. Controller vibration. Guys, it's gonna feel so weird, but turn controller vibration off. All right, I know a lot of people tell me like, yo, why would you ever turn it off? And then they turn it off and they're like, yo, thank you for telling me to turn it off. Yeah, no problem, man. It's just when it vibrates, your thumb vibrates. That means your right stick is vibrating. That means your accuracy is vibrating. Turn it off, guys. Just turn it. It feels so weird, and I'm not saying it's gonna feel weird for a game or two. It's gonna feel weird for 2 or 3 days, let's be honest. But once you get used to playing without the controller vibration, you'll never want it on again. Trust me on that right there. Trigger effect, we're gonna have that off, obviously. This is if you're shooting L2R2. I'm not, so just keep it off. Even if you are shooting L2R2, just keep it off. And then the dead zone input, your left stick minimum is going to be at 5. Your left stick max is going to be at 40. If you don't have any stick drift on your left stick, put the minimum down to 0. You could definitely do that. But me, I have some stick drift, so I'm going to leave it at 5. Left stick max 40, which is really good. Right stick minimum 0. Again, if you have stick drift, figure out what number your stick drift stops at and set it to that right there. I could put it at 0, luckily. And then the right stick max, you want it at 100. That's going to help you guys out a lot right there in terms of accuracy and whatnot. After that, we're going to go over to the aiming and your sensitivity. You're going to choose whatever you want, okay? I cannot tell you guys what sensitivity to play on. This is all on what you feel comfortable with. Though what I will say, at least in terms of sensitivity, is the ADS sensitivity multipliers. All right, man, this is something that like, or what's it called? Where is it? Yeah, custom sensitivity per zoom. That's what it's called. Not the ADS sensitivity multiplier. I don't know why I thought it was that, guys. Ignore me. Go to the custom sensitivity per zoom on this one right here. You're going to set your low zoom lower than the default. The reason you want to do this is because if you have it set to 1 and then you have it set to 1 and whatever, and then your actual sensitivity is at like 10 or something, for example, your sensitivity and then your ADS sensitivity, there's not going to be much of a difference to it. And then your aim assist, depending what aim assist settings you're playing on and stuff, it might be harder to stay on target when actually getting into a gunfight. So I always recommend the low zoom and at least up to 3 times zoom. You want to lower that a little bit, and then this way your accuracy and everything could be a lot nicer as well, because once you get into those gunfights, you don't want your sensitivity to be high. You don't want it to be crazy. You want to lock on to those enemies. And the reason we don't want to go too low, like you could definitely go down to 85 or something, but the reason we don't want to go too low is for those close range gunfights. 85, the enemies might be able to get out of your screen a little too fast, so we're gonna leave it at 0.95. And you'll be pretty set right there. And I think that's going to be pretty much it. I mean, I put my aim assist on Black Ops. I have obviously aim assist on and all that kind of stuff, but that's pretty much it for aiming right there. And then, yeah, we don't really have to go into the gameplay tab right here. I mean, I'll go really fast. I'll show you guys. You guys could go ahead and pause it every so often. So here, we'll go to the top. We have this little screen right here. Go ahead, pause it. Then we have this little area here. You could go ahead and pause it. I mean, this is just what I play on, right? You guys don't have to play on these as well. This is all preference, I would say, in this gameplay section. So I don't like telling people, oh, you definitely have to use this. You definitely need to use this section and stuff. This is all preference, all right? But the last thing I want to get into is the actual audio settings, all right? Audio settings are really important. A lot of people don't realize that. But if you play Search and Destroy and you see people running around without a mic on and they have no covert sneakers on, just assume that they're playing out of their TV and they don't hear what you hear. If you have a headset on, you could hear this game like crazy, and it's important to actually set it right. So the audio mix, we're going to put headphone bass boost. That's what I like. Again, it feels really good with my headset. I'm using Astro A40s, or sorry, A50s, and yeah, it just sounds good with what I have on. And then we got my default system device. It's what it's coming out of. It doesn't matter. It's where I'm connected to. And then after this, we got this. That doesn't matter. All this doesn't matter. Let's move on to the master game volume. This is what I reset since I changed it, and it's actually really good. So the master game volume, you're going to set to 100 because you want to hear everything else that you set properly. The game music volume, I used to set this down to like 50. Honestly, it's not bad at 100. It's really not bad at 100. You can set it there. Dialogue volume, I have it to 80. I used to have this at 50 or 60 or something. I don't remember. I set it to 80 this time around, and it's pretty good. This is it's just the dialogue. It's like the characters talking to each other in game. It's not you guys on your mics and stuff. It's what they say, like oh, enemy over there by the car and stuff like that. Whatever. It's good little call outs. The effects volume, gunshots, footsteps, explosions, all that kind of stuff, we're going to set this to 100. Cinematic music volume, we're going to put down to 70, and then war tracks, you could set that to whatever you like. Now, voice chat volume, I put to 50. I don't care about hearing all my teammates and stuff. I play with a lot of randoms. I barely play in parties, so I set that down to 50, and I mostly turn voice chat off anyways. So yeah, for the most part, don't really care about that. And then this all here, is pretty much proximity chat. You want that on. It's mostly for Warzone, that and whatnot. And then your microphone, I have it on push to talk because I don't want people to hear me and stuff. Don't really care, again, like I said. And then my microphone level, I put it to 80 because I don't want to be so loud in people's headsets and stuff. So I put it lower just because, like, I don't want to be at 100. I don't want to be heard like crazy. I don't really care about all that kind of stuff. But that's it for the audio right there. If you guys did enjoy this video, like I said, if you could drop a like on this, that would be amazing. Sub to the channel if those notifications turned on. And guys, like I said, it's my birthday. Season 4 is here. Let's go. Let's get it. If you guys could drop that like for that, I would appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.